hear a clearer picture of that Old Testament lesson, I hope that you'll give yourself some time to go back and read 1 Kings and look at it seriously, and look at the life of Elijah and the problems that he was facing, and to realize that he didn't understand at the moment that God was not finished with him yet. But he acted out of despair. He verbalized his anxiety and his frustration. He said, "Take away my life." And the word of the Lord came to him and said, "Wait a minute, there's more to do." And I want you to listen for that voice that will speak to you and give you focus and encouragement. Elijah is the only person we know of in Scripture that did not die but was carried into heaven. The Scripture reveals that to us, and my grandmother, who was a Presbyterian in the Southern tradition in Charleston, West Virginia, believed that quite firmly. Because every meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, my grandmother would always set a separate setting, another place setting, because she said, if Elijah doesn't have any place to eat, he can come to our house. I am not exaggerating. This she did all the time. On my father's side of the family, there are a lot of cousins, and I remember cousin David, born the same year I was in 1941, wasn't paying attention one evening and began to sit in Elijah's chair. And I can remember the very severe reprimand that came from my grandmother. She said, "We're waiting for someone." And as long as she was able, until she went in a nursing home and was able to cook and provide that kind of fellowship, there was always a place for Elijah. Elijah thought his life was over. He thought he had done what he could do. The peril and the tumult and the history of that moment was so overwhelming that he thought, I can do no more. Perhaps at a time in your journey, in your life, you may be thinking that. I know for me, there have been times in my walk, in 52 years as a priest, I was ordained when I was 4, remember? I hope you all remember. Is that I have felt that aloneness, and that God was very aloof. But into your life came someone or an event that reminded you that you have value, you have purpose, and that God truly loves you and wants you to do something with your life for Him. Since retiring in 2006, I've retired 5 times. I'm not boasting to tell you that I'm just foolish enough to keep working, because I like what I do. And since I retired the last time, I took a job at UAB teaching on the faculty of the medical school. And I'm having a blast. I'm teaching ethics. Sorely needed in this culture, amen? Gosh, is that a startling event each Thursday afternoon? But I want to talk to you about a person in my life that helped fashion my later years of ministry. And who was that lantern and that light and that encouragement to me on my journey. I want to tell you a story today about Father Emmanuel Johnson. Some of you who I walked with may have heard this 11 years ago, so just put up. I preach so often in so many different churches, I can't remember what story I told you. So, Father Johnson, a native of Liberia, grew up in that country, attended Covington College, became an educator, and then found a call of vocation to ordain ministry. He prayed about it, he made the decision, he went to seminary, and then began a journey which ended his final appointment as Simon was Dean of Trinity Cathedral in Monrovia. Prior to that, Father Johnson served as a student at Covington College, and then became its principal or headmaster. They didn't call him the president. And it was, if you study West African history, and particularly that of Liberia, and I want to report to you that I was there last year, this turbulence continues there. The selfishness, selfishness. people not to come together is still very evident in that particular country as I experienced it. But Father Johnson became the head of Cuddington College, and during the various revolutions, of which there were many, students were pulled out of classes, lined up against the wall, and were going to be shot. And on 3 different occasions in recorded history, Emmanuel left his office, protested their action, and said as he stood in front of those, sacrificing possibly his own life, if you're going to kill the students, you're going to have to shoot me as well. In 1990, they did not. In 1990, in really the most dynamic confrontation in that country, in my mind, in recent history, he fled to Ghana with his wife and 4 of his 5 children, and spent a year there in, he essentially called it a concentration camp, where their lives were highly monitored, very little food, no dignity. But he was able to keep his faith in all of that, and he found an open heart and an open ear in the mind of Ed Salmon, who was then the Bishop of South Carolina. Bishop Salmon said, we're going to get you out of this place and your family, and we're going to bring them to the United States. And I want you to become the chaplain of Voorhees, an African-American college in South Carolina. And so Emmanuel went to Voorhees College and had a very distinguished ministry there. I'm jumping around a bit, so I hope I get so confused sometimes, but I just attach that to old age. So, in the midst of my journey, I'll have to give you a little insert here. In 1990, the same year that he fled Liberia, I moved to Washington, D.C. And I thought, well, I need to get a job. And so I went to the Bishop of Virginia on one side of the Potomac River, and the Bishop of Washington on the other side, and they both offered me a job to plant a church. And frankly, I remember saying to Bishop Lee, then the Bishop of Virginia, I appreciate the trust and the encouragement to do this, but frankly, I've never had a nightmare about starting a church. And yet, in the course of the next 16 years, I accepted his offer and the call of 12 people, and we began St. David's Church in Ashburn, Virginia. Now back to Emmanuel. So we're moving along in our ministry. We're 12 years old. It's 2002. One of the things that was so attractive about living in the greater Washington, D.C. area was that it was such a diverse congregation of ethnic backgrounds, of race. And one of the wonderful things about having people from West Africa in the congregation is they truly dressed up every Sunday for church. In fact, and this is not a sexist comment, but it's just reality, the hats on some of the women were so large, and you were trying to bring the chalice to them. It was like searching in a mine. I mean, it was amazing because they celebrated. The men and women wore these glorious clothing. And it was so much fun because they do, whether it was a dull day, they lit up the church. It was just wonderful. We had 22 people from Liberia in our congregation. And they came to me and said, our priest, and I said, who's that? And they said, Father Emmanuel. He was our educator, our pastor in Liberia, and we're going to facilitate, he and his wife, his children had grown at that point, to move to Ashburn, Virginia. And would you spend some time with him when he comes here, because he's looking for something to do. So, Emmanuel and Henrietta and Rachel, mother-in-law, and Father Emmanuel moved to Washington. And I have to tell you the voice. I get this voice on the phone. Father Stephen, this is Emmanuel Johnson. May I come to your office to visit? I said, come on in. Came in so properly dressed, all black suit, he was just immaculate. And shoes were shining. And he came in and he began to talk to me about Jesus and about his love of God. And he said, "Is there a place for me on your staff?" It's like, hello? God's just pointing, giving you this wonderful gift. I said, "Join us." And so he did. As he walked out of my office, he said, "I've been through a lot of turmoil and trial, and I had then learned of his history." And I thought, my goodness, that's an understatement. He said, "As long as God gives me breath, I am going to sing his song." Listen to that. It's got magic to it. As long as God gives me breath, I am going to sing his song. Just pause, because I want you to think about, are you singing God's song? Are you that encouragement that Elijah needed to hear to continue the journey? As long as God gives me breath, I will sing his song. So, I stay at St. David's another 4 years and complete 16 years of service there. And one of the people I thought about who I was leaving and I was going to miss was Father Emmanuel. Because he embraced that parish. He was a pastoral presence. I remember going to get my first mission trip to Liberia, and we went to the Liberian embassy. Father Emmanuel said, "Father Stephen, I'll take you in." He knew everybody in the building. And he walked up to people he hadn't seen for 20 years. He said, "You love Jesus?" "Yes, sir." And then he would say, "Are you going to church?" And then he would cough and he said, "Get yourself back to faith." And I thought, I would never behave that way, but that's who he was. So loved. So I retired the first time in 2006. And part of retiring was coming to serve this congregation. Every Monday morning, until the 6th of April, 2017, every Monday morning, I would get a phone call. "Father Stephen," I knew this is Emmanuel Johnson. That phrase never changed. And then he would ask me, "Are you singing God's song?" He was my accountability person. God took him home on the 8th of April. When we built St. David's, and it's a large congregation now, we built a church that seated 535 people. But we had to have his funeral in the National Cathedral. There were over 4,000 people who came to his funeral. Because he was that voice along the way who encouraged people, people that were at the end of their rope emotionally and spiritually. And I now look forward to Monday mornings because spiritually, at 10 o'clock in the morning, it just comes to me. That call, "Father Stephen, this is Emmanuel Johnson. Are you still singing God's song?" That's the task for each of us until God calls us home, isn't it? He doesn't care whether you sing in or out of it. He asks you to sing, to tell the story, to encourage one another, and to walk as a child of the light. Are you singing God's song this day? You have the answer.